What's up, everybody? This episode of The Republic is brought to you by Netflix for a free, yes, free 30-day trial. Just head on over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV.
GameBreaker TV.
Smash! What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Republic, episode 152 for August 26, 2013. I'm Gary, and we're watching GameBreaker TV. On today's show, we've got answers for the Sorks and Vanguards, another flash drive of images from BioWare, and new stuff in the Cartel store, all that and more. But first, from Massively.com, it's Larry Everett. Larry.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
I'm not going to show the label of these, but I'm addicted to them. These.
Okay.
Is it the Kool-Aid or Mio? That's going to be the Kool-Aid.
What?
Because Lee loves those too.
What is that?
It's
Why would you show
stuff
the
that you
label?
can put in your water.
Well, I mean, here we go.
Oh! Yeah, little
They're
grape
not
drink.
a sponsor.
Little grape drink?
Yeah.
That's all right. Love the grape drink.
It's pretty awesome, and there's
It is.
sugar-free and everything. It's great.
Look at you watching your figure, huh?
Yes, my girlish figure. I have to fit in that outfit.
You gotta get into that bikini soon. Summer's over, Larry. Summer's over. Beach. Not happening. Imagine if Larry showed up to the beach in slave Leia bikini. That'd be amazing.
Oh my god!
Can you do that? Can we make a YouTube video of that? Come on.
That'd be hot, Larry.
If I did that, there would be a YouTube video of it. I mean, I wouldn't have to make one. There would be one.
There would be multiple angles from all over the place. And joining us, as always, Laura Williams. How are you, Laura?
I'm great. Hey, guys.
So let's see. First up this week, real quick. Let me get all the new stuff out of the way. GameBreaker TV, completely revamped. Brand new and shiny, GameBreaker.tv. Go on over, check it out. Looks totally different. It looks awesome. Check it out. GameBreaker TV. Boom, done. Okay. And launched a new site called Hearth Nation. HearthNation.com, and we've got Hearthstone beta keys. Got to go over to HearthNation.com to enter. Go on over. It's open until this Friday. I don't know the date off the top of my head because I'm bad with dates. I don't have any information. But we're giving away beta keys. Go to HearthNation.com, and it's all there. All the information's there to enter. So good luck, good luck, good luck. All right, so first up this week, BioWare has answered the Sorcerer and the Vanguard questions. So let's kick some things off and talk about, let's talk about the Sorks. So first up, they said there are no current plans to give Sorcerers some sort of damage mitigation, though we might tweak some existing skills or abilities if we feel that the Sorcerers are underperforming. Force Barrier already helps Sorcerers withstand an assault from multiple players, and how you use it is crucial to your survival. As a Sorcerer, you must play defensively and make them pay for trying to kill you. I'm going to say it right now, Larry, didn't you call this last week? You pretty much called this, didn't you?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly, the question itself was pretty terrible. A healing class needing more cooldowns. Defensive cooldowns.
Yeah.
Line of sight and heal the fool.
That's right.
All right.
Learn to play your class. Go ahead.
Learn to
Keep
play your
reading.
class. Exactly. Yeah, let's move on. Sorcerer's healing and damage abilities have an activation time. They may need to be more careful than other classes about using line of sight to their own advantage. For a Sorcerer, positioning is extremely important at all times. Sorcerers are an easy-to-play, hard-to-master class in that most of their abilities are rather straightforward and easily understood, but getting the most out of those abilities, you dumbass, may require a higher skill level, you fucking jerk, than many players are comfortable with. Sorry, I just
That was
added
not
that in.
edited. Actually,
That
it was edited. It was edited in the typo.
Yeah,
But-
that wasn't really in there. I
but-
don't know. I have Tourette's.
No, I
Sometimes
think it
things just
was.
fall out of my mouth.
I think you read it correctly. It's just that we had to edit it out for TV.
Was it? This is a bit of a learn to play answer.
It is very much a learn to play answer.
Is
They were
that
a little
okay?
snippish in their answers.
Is that okay from a developer?
I think they could have been nicer about it.
You know what? They could have said learn to play.
Well, that's true. They could have.
I was gonna say, might as well be blunt about it. I mean, we can
And
read
people
between the
were
lines.
already mad.
I mean, you could say it's should he be nicer, or is it just straight up real talk? I mean, maybe there are classes that are harder to play than others. There's no doubt about it. Like every game has them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just straight up real talk. I know there was a little chatter on the interwebs being a little unhappy about the tone, but I don't know. It's the internet. You know, just grow up, learn to play your effing class.
I think. I mean, given the question, I mean, sorry, that was a ridiculous question in the first place. And given the question, I think that their answer was okay. I had really no problem with it. I mean, I don't think. I mean, how are you going to diplomatically say, yeah, this question's dumb and you don't really know how to play your class? Yeah, I mean, how can you diplomatically say that?
There's only so many ways you can say ass hat, learn to play your class. That's it. There's
exactly.
Not really
I mean, I think that they. I understand the frustration of it, because especially on the DPS side, you don't have a whole lot of cooldowns. You do have to rely quite a bit on a healing class whenever in a PvP situation. You do have to rely on the healer to give you a little bit of boost. But the thing is, just about every other pure DPS class has to do the same thing. And I think that this particular question would have been better suited for it should have been totally changed and been something along the lines of why do the DPS classes of the SWTOR not output as much damage as, say, the other classes?
See, now this goes back to, I agree with Thraxis in the chat room. Yes, I would have been a better representative. I would have asked better questions, but you didn't vote me in. So I blame it on the little people.
See what you guys did. You guys who voted.
It's learn to vote.
If you would have voted for Gary.
Learn to vote.
Learn to vote. Would you guys agree, though? I mean, are they an easy to play, hard to master kind of class? Is it true?
I didn't think it was especially hard to play when I played mine, but then I healed on it rather than DPS because I didn't really like DPSing on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree in the sense that, yes, it is generally speaking, a class where you can just kind of, if you want to, smash buttons and kind of do something. To play it well, however, you do need to know how. But just, I mean, that's really, I mean, what class isn't like? I mean, there's very few classes that you don't have to know how to coordinate in order to play well.
There be a whole lot of parties around here. Dude, that guy was fucking cool. Got a kick and snap woman's neck like a pencil stick. So I started smashing in the head. Smash, smash, so mash.
You said smash.
Exactly.
Smash him in the head.
Is that the word of the day, actually?
Smash.
Everybody needs to scream whenever somebody says that.
No, I think kill to hold is the word of the day.
Yeah.
Finally, for the Sorks. Said, we currently have no plans to add any extra force management abilities, skills, or mechanics to Corruption or Madness, though we may consider lowering the cost of Static Barrier. The critical rating stat is currently adjusted to a level that grants a critical chance with which we are not completely satisfied, and this means that some specializations lacking a built-in auto-crit are at a disadvantage, while specializations like Madness and Corruption that gain utilities and advantages when they critically hit are at an even bigger disadvantage. We will be working to rectify this issue with the critical rating stat in the future. Okay, so no more force management. Expected? Not expected? What do you think?
I thought this was a very odd question because we have 2 DPS sorcerers in our raid right now. One is Lightning, one is Madness, and neither one of them has ever complained about having issues with Force. In fact, I don't know any sorcerer except maybe a healer that has complained about having an issue with Force. And even then, it's only if the raid is pretty undergeared for what they're trying to attempt, or the healer's like trying to carry another healer. But other than that, this question just felt very odd to me.
Another one. What do you think, Lara?
Yep. I completely agree. If again, learn to play. If you're a Madness spec Sork and you're running out of Force, you're doing something wrong. I played a Madness spec Sork during raids and during flashpoints and whatnot, and I never had an issue at all with any kind of Force management. That being said, a Corruption spec Sork, which I've only PvP'd a Corruption spec Sork. I have not rated healing because people have learned not to bring me into heal, but I do know that Corruption spec Sorks do have issues as far as management in general, but they can consume to help rectify some of their Force management issues.
What do you guys think about the adjustments coming to the critical rating stat? Who doesn't love big crits?
I actually like that because right now I think crit is pretty useless. I don't personally know any class that wants to stat crit or get it, and it seems like when you started gearing up at level 55, crit was on everything. It was like, you don't want crit at all, but all I can get is crit. So if they can do something,
what happens though? Nice. I mean, I guess in theory, to me, it sounds like a good balance. But what actually happens to those specs who don't have, who do have built-in auto crits? What happens there?
Well, I guess then they just need less of it.
Yeah, I really don't. I'm not sure exactly what the last part of the question is really leading to, or the last part of the answer, because anybody that has crit built into their class stacks power pretty much. There is only I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there has to be some DPS class that put a little bit of crit into their build. I know on my Marauder I avoid crit, although I do need a little bit of it in order to get to the 25%, 30% that is recommended before the diminishing returns. But yeah, most classes don't even have to worry about that as far as their armor pieces are concerned. So that's kind of a weird question, or a weird answer rather. More weird.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Vanguard answers. Let's see. First up, says we are sorry that the community feels this way about the Vanguard. The short list you gave for the Vanguard was only one item behind the list you gave for Shadows and Guardians. The road of comparison only leads to disappointment, and I believe many Guardians and Shadows are disappointed in their 30-meter range options, while Vanguards have many options when they are beyond melee range. It goes on to say, in short, this is a perception problem, and it is one that you admit didn't exist when Assault Specialist dealt more damage. When Assault Specialist damage goes up, will this perception issue go away? If not, we'll address the issue, but we aren't looking to make massive improvements that would only tip the scales in the other direction. Again, pretty blunt.
Yeah, this
Real
one
talk
is,
with the BioWares.
This one, I believe, is completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
Because now part of it, who were we talking to the other day? I forget who it was, but mentioned that the representative for the Vanguard here is a PvPer, and many of the things that were mentioned in the Drade. Drade from our raid. That many of the cooldowns or the defensive cooldowns that were mentioned in the question are not really defensive cooldowns. Grapple, for instance, was one of them. that's not a defensive cooldown, especially in a raid. You don't use that as a defensive cooldown. And so so that ticks one off. So now they're 2 behind. And there was another one, I forget which one it is off the top of my head, that they mentioned, that the question mentioned, that was not a cooldown they ever used in raids. So now they're 3 behind. And so they don't have the defensive cooldowns, absolutely do not have the defensive cooldowns that specifically the Juggernaut have. And Juggernaut is incredible about mitigation. You're talking the same kind of armor, but for some reason or another, the Juggernaut gets better defensive cooldowns than the Commando and or Vanguard. And I'm not saying that both classes should play exactly the same. I don't want them to. I believe that would be detrimental to the classes overall. However, they should be equal in relative comparison. And whereas right now, in raids, you pretty much stick with a Juggernaut tank. A Sin tank, to a lesser extent, they have other issues that will hopefully be addressed sooner rather than later.
Again, though, this answer, just the tone, I could definitely see how some people are reacting badly to the response as well. I mean, only disappointment, the road of comparison leads.
Yeah.
Actually, there was somebody on the forums that had a really, really good comment, and I'm going to quote them because I've got it pulled up here. It was Master Nala. They said, "We're fully aware that sorcerers can heal and that vanguards have ranged attack. We don't need the developers to tell us these things. What we needed was the developers to tell us why they believe these supported advantages outweigh the disadvantages these classes were saddled with."
Boom.
And I think that really would have been a more useful answer to the question than just saying, well, you have perception issues.
Yeah. I'm really, really disappointed in this answer. I am slightly disappointed in the question, but the spirit of the question was there, and it was important, because vanguards are, especially as a tank class, are pretty useless. Not completely, but once you start getting to higher in raids, it gets more and more difficult to have a vanguard or a power tech as your primary tank.
I'm going to move on. This whole Q&A thing is it's working out pretty well. All right, he says, next up, we never intend for hybrids to outperform the 36-point builds, and this is exactly what we addressed in the 2.4 update. Players should now find that both Fire Pulse and Assault Plastique deal more damage than they did previously. In addition, the Assault Specialist should see some of its burst make a return in 2.4. At your convenience, I highly encourage you to copy your Vanguard over to the PTS and try out the new tactics and Assault Specialist builds along with the hybrid builds. The 36-point builds should outperform the hybrids now. Now, why why can't hybrids outperform 36-point builds? Is there a big reason? Like, why does this disappoint anyone else?
Well, I don't think in theory that they should outperform a 36-point build. I mean, if you're spending that many points to get all the way to the top of the tree, that talent should be a defining piece of that tree. Like, that should be the pinnacle of what you're going for.
Doesn't everybody want, like, diversity? Well,
diversity is great, but typically when you're speccing in a hybrid, you're going to end up being sort of the jack of all trades, master of none. You know, you're trading some of that damage for more defensive capabilities or more utility that you can bring to the team.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about this. I like hybrids. I don't know. There's always going to be like cookie cutter specs. I don't know, but I'd rather have 6 than 3. I don't know.
I now from a PvE perspective, I am against hybrids because number one, you can't gear for hybrids. You can't create an instance based off of hybrids. It makes things exponentially more difficult to do. It's already difficult, as we can see with Sin tanks and with power tech tanks. So to have a raid geared for a hybrid as well is a little bit difficult. However, I am completely in favor of hybrids in a PvP situation. I've we saw it at one point, and it did need to be nerfed a bit, but we did see at one point with the sword where you would spec up a little bit into lightning spec, and you would have the bubble that would act as a utility. However, you'd lose a bit of your healing ability. However, overall, you performed really well for the team. And right now, there's a couple of hybrid specs that work pretty well in PvE. You have an assassin hybrid that works pretty well. That's a little bit tanky, a little bit DPS that works great in PvP. You also have an operative that is a little bit heal, a little bit concealment that works pretty well in PvP. So I like it as far as PvP is concerned. I think it makes the field interesting, and you get a lot. You don't necessarily know what to expect all the time, but in a PvE situation, you really should be. It should be 36 point specs for everybody.
All right, finally up for the Vanguards. They said 2.4 is bringing a DPS upgrade to both Vanguard damage-dealing specializations, as well as a burst upgrade for assault specialists, and a harder-hitting fire pulse for tactics. These upgrades should make Vanguard damage dealers more competitive in PvP, with faster time to kill than before, and intrinsically more survivability because of that. Well, okay, then.
More damage. Yay.
More damage.
They need. I think in general that the Vanguards, not necessarily so much in PvPs though, because I've seen some pyrotechs that have topped some damage charge. But I do think in general, especially in PvE, the Vanguards are really fall short when it comes to damage output, and I really, it's just right now, it's one of those classes that it's not a great tank, it's not a great DPS, it's good, but it's not great. It's outperformed by other classes in many different areas, and so it's kind of a class right now that's just nobody really wants to play, and that's disappointing, and it shouldn't really be that way.
I want to move on and talk about the Gamescom Cantina Tour, but first, tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with Netflix. If you guys check out Netflix, what are you waiting for? Hooking you up with a free 30-day trial. All you got to do is go to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. Sign up today. Make a free account, free 30-day trial with your name on it. Download the app to your iPad, your iOS device, your Apple TV, your Roku, whatever you got. Start streaming television shows, movies. They got it all. Breaking Bad, Orange is the New Black, Wilford, The Lorax, The Avengers, Hunger Games, all this stuff. You just start streaming it absolutely free for 30 days. I've been a long time subscriber to the Netflix. Love having these guys on as sponsors. Hook it up today. Get a free 30-day trial. Just go to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV and sign up. Sign up. Sign up. Sign up. All right, so Delphi got screenshots from the Gamescom Cantina Tour. Now, remember, these are from the official BioWare flash drive, so that does mean that the information is probably mostly inaccurate, judging by past experience. So,
Space Garage.
yes, no, that was a little joke. All right, let's check out the new planet first off. Oricon. Kind of looks like a fiery Ord Mantell, doesn't it?
Mixed with a little bit of McKeb. Yeah.
What's going on here? What do we know? Do we know anything about Oricon? Is it new? Is it in the lore? What's the deal? It
is in lore. Oricon was, and I had it up last week, but I forgot to bring it up this week.
It's a moon.
Yeah, it's a moon and a Sith Lord. I forget his name off the top of my head. Somebody in the chat room probably remind me. Who did kind of like the Isle of Dr. Moreau experiments, Sith alchemy, that sort of thing. So he has. I expect to see like funky monsters and different kinds of disgusting,
touch myself.
augmented creatures. Victus, that was a Cosmic Engine. Thank you very much, Lord Victus. That was his name.
And what wouldn't be an update without these guys, Larry?
Right.
Look, the Dreadmasters got new hats again.
They got bigger hats. Their hats are bigger.
Of
They got more
course,
pointy
you
things on
cannot.
the
You cannot have an update without the Dreadmasters.
I really hope that we get to kill them all in this update because I'm ready for a new bad guy.
My producer told me
Dreadmasters.
My producer told me this hilarious joke. He said, "I would rather fight the Yuzong Vaughn than those guys again."
Really? See, I love the Dreadmasters. I love them. I hope one gets away and we see more of them. I'm serious. I really like them. I think that they feed on fear and they feed on. I love it. I think it's just awesome.
More mounts. Oh, that's not them. More mounts.
Armored Tauntauns!
All aboard the
And
animal train.
dewbacks.
What are those things?
They're dewbacks.
Well, the
Well,
left
the
to
first
right,
ones are those are
left to
dewbacks.
right, it's a dewback,
Yeah.
a varactyl,
This is a-
tauntaun, and
This is a varactyl?
a varactyl.
I didn't
Yeah.
know what that was.
And that's and then a tauntaun and more tauntauns.
Rode on in,
Yeah.
what was it, the third movie?
Yeah, the most annoying mount in the game. I thought tauntauns were bad. Varactyls are worse.
I really need to get one of those and then put Larry on auto follow so that I can ride around with it.
They should make Jar Jar a rideable mount. That would be very annoying.
That
So
would be the most annoying mount. Yes,
Yes, that would win.
Horrible.
but I would have to get one of those. Just so.
Are you happy with these as
around.
mounts though? What do you guys think? I mean, are you guys you happy with these? The fleets are going to need some more cleaning droids.
I will be really happy if the armored tauntauns and armored dewbacks actually make it into game
Oof.
because I think those look awesome.
Is that like you don't think they're going to make it into game?
I don't know. It could be game files that's just hanging out, or maybe it's an NPC thing that's standing around that we don't ever get. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
I don't want them.
I was just like, no,
I don't
please,
want them.
none of
All the tauntauns.
None.
them.
In fact, it would be even better if I could have my sniper rifles attached to the tauntaun so I can shoot things while I'm riding. Be a battle mount. Actually, a
there's-
boss fight you had to ride tauntauns on would be pretty cool too.
There's also a Q&A. There's a few interesting things in here. Chest farming on McCabe, not an exploit apparently. What's going on over there? What's the story?
There's a bunch of really large chests on most of the platforms there. I know there's a lot on the very first platform that you come to. And they tend to spawn, or have a higher chance to spawn world purple items or orange items, just some better gear. They have more money typically than regular chests. And they actually do have a very fast respawn rate. So good if you are looking for treasure.
All right, so it's not an exploit. I guess a lot of people were definitely wondering. The super secret space project that we've been hearing about forever is awesome. That's all we pretty much got. It actually exists. I don't know. What do you think? 3.0, all about space?
Gosh, I hope not. Really. I mean, yeah, they've already underwhelmed me with the way they do space in this game. So
Maybe it'll be like Star Tours from Disney.
I mean,
We'll get on that ride.
I can tell you that the people that are data mining are speculating that space is going to be PvP oriented, possibly freeform. Speculation. That's complete
Can't wait for that.
speculation.
No new classes or advanced classes. No surprise there, I don't think. Anybody?
Yeah.
No,
And they
but that
also-
does make me sad.
It is pretty
Yeah.
sad. And this as well. They'd rather do planetary story arcs than class arcs because the group experience is better. So
No, that is so wrong, sir. It's not
I'm
because
not
the group
sure.
experience is better. It's
Because they're
because
lazy and they only have to design one thing and not eight different stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the good answer, but it's an answer. And I don't
was the
think-
that was totally the PR answer.
I don't
That
think
wasn't-
I don't think anybody's surprised by this though, are you? I mean,
No,
did you really expect
no,
it?
not at all.
So confirmation. There you go. Not happening.
It's disappointing, although not surprising.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also said that they're aware of class balance issues, especially in PvP.
Really? When has there not been class balance issues in PvP? Let's be real. I mean, maybe right before 2.0 came out? Maybe? No, even then, I think there was class balance issues. There's always class balance issues. This is an MMO. It's the way it is.
Don't expect major changes before 2.5 and 2.6, though. Why? Exactly.
That's a little disappointing.
Because they're going to wait and see what people go into ranked arenas with and what kind of comps they're running. And then they're going to say, okay, so here's the classes that we probably need to nerf, and the classes that they're not taking in are what we actually need to buff. And in fact, they did say in the developer post when they were talking about just adding the arenas onto the test server, one of the things that Alex Monty did say was, of course, we're going to pay close attention to what builds and classes players are leaning towards and away from on PTS, and then if something comes up, we're going to take appropriate action. So they're going to be watching that, and then they're going to make changes based on what they see there.
Quote here, it says, the removal of ranked war zones was a very, very hard decision. So they didn't want to starve both queues when they introduced the arenas, which actually seems like a decent reason. I don't know, are you guys buying it?
Whoever the developer was also said something really, really stupid that made me super angry, so I don't know that I actually believe it, especially after saying that there's not as much PvP content as PvE content, because PvP or PvE always needs new content to clear, while PvPers are just happy as long as there's somebody to kill.
Just happy.
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
They're just like flinging around roses and like, oh, this place is great. We're all here.
Yeah, it was a hard decision. We're going to say dumb shit like that. And this was a hard decision to take things out. I don't know who that dev is, but he ought to be fired. That's terrible.
Ouch.
Or gagged.
Struck a nerve.
Or taken out back and flogged. I mean, seriously. Seriously. That's the answer that you're going to give?
Yeah.
Struck a nerve.
I totally agree.
About that.
And you know what? I think that is kind of, and I hate to see it, it's kind of conducive to how they've been dealing with PvP. As long as there's people to kill, then you're okay. As long as people are killing each other, then we're good.
Everything's good.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
does not justify not giving them new content for 10 months.
But they're happy. I thought they're all happy. They got stuff to do.
They're all happy. Yeah,
happy.
Exactly. Right? They're not leaving in droves. It's our imagination.
Yeah.
People are still queuing for PvP.
All right, let's talk about brighter things. Patch 2.3.1 brings with it a new cartel pack. Cha-ching! Before we get into that, there is one thing that's pretty good. Free players can now train sprint and get the emergency fleet pass at level 10. So BioWare don't completely hate the free players, I guess. And I guess this may be a good sign, especially after the lifting off the Warzone restrictions that we talked about last week. This adding to that, okay. Couple of things, sure. All right.
I think they're starting to understand what the free player is to them. I think there's been I've kind of talked about this with my free-to-play experiment massively, but I think that the idea that BioWare has with the free player is that they are customers that are or potential customers, but which they can be, but essentially what they are is they are content. It's basically just like with any website, anything that gives anything away for free. If you are receiving that free content, whatever it happens to be, you are not the customer. You are the product. If you are content. So for the actual customers, which in website cases, it's like it's like the advertisers is how the website makes money. And so basically, in a free-to-play situation, if you are getting a free game, you are content for the people that actually are paying, for the subscribers and whatnot. So, and what they've done, bless you, what they've done is, they're starting to get it to where the free players can now interact with the subscribers, because at this point in time, it's a little difficult for the free players to interact with subscribers. There's a leveling issue. There's PvP issues. There's rating and other flashpoint issues and those kinds of things. It's a little more difficult for free players to interact with the subscribers. And with these restrictions being lifted, it's getting to the point where they're now on par as far as being able to, bless you again, on par of being able to get to that kind of content.
All right, on to the fun stuff. Yes, the cartel market stuff, the important stuff, because who doesn't want to look like this?
Larry does. He thinks it's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
I just gave him that hat.
That's right.
The ceremonial headdress. You can combine this with the Darth Scion set with the headdress. Perfect, am I right?
It is! It totally is! It totally is. That is almost exactly what one of my characters wears. Seriously. Color matched, it is awesome.
All right, I'm going to move on. I just want to know if it comes with a cage and a whip and a dark dungeon. That's
it totally does. It totally does. And we didn't even, I don't think it's on here. We didn't even talk about the leather pants aren't even.
Oh, the leather catsuit.
Yeah.
Which would be much better if it didn't have little beige pieces in it and it had cutouts.
Go ahead.
Larry.
I see that.
Chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your free version, Larry?
No, I'm still hoping for some sort of free emote that allows me to sit down, because I like this, and this is a great substitute for, like, except for that one. That one is looking like I'm taking a dump. That is the number 2 chair, literally the number 2 chair.
The number 2 chair. There it is.
But I am still hoping for a version that just allows me to look like I'm sitting down, so I can sit in the chairs that are actually in the fleet.
At least they work, and I must say flawlessly. Redditor Theral BHB posted this.
You know, I saw that.
I can say I haven't seen anyone floating in the air like that.
Yeah, actually scroll down a little so we can see the bottom of the picture a little bit. Yeah, there. That's a better angle of it.
Working as intended?
I think what that guy did is he jumped up on that pole and sat down and did the chair remote, because you can stand on that pole, and I think that's what he did. He's actually standing on the pole, so therefore created that.
He was pole dancing. All right, Frog Dog practice jersey.
It's all right. It actually looks like a shirt, which is cool.
Like a shirt.
Because there's a lot of the stuff that we're getting doesn't look like a shirt, so it's cool to have something that actually looks like a shirt.
They ever put
Rotworm.
mode.
Yep.
You can sit there and wear that to cheer for your team.
That's right. They ever put in spectator mode.
Is that what these are for? Is these for when you're RPing, watching Hutball on your new chairs with your buddies?
Yeah, absolutely. You got it.
The
That's
Series
what we do,
505
actually.
cybernetic set for all your cyborg roleplay needs.
Oh man, there are so many people that are happy about having that armor, because they can be any race now and throw that on and look like they're a cyborg.
Yeah. And you know the thing, oh my gosh, I was up at, how late was I? I was up really late the night
You're
that
really
those,
4 in the morning.
yeah, something like that, whenever those things went to the GTN, and that was the most consistently priced item. I mean, it was extremely high to get that night. Right now, the prices have dropped quite a bit, but the first night, that Thursday night, oh my gosh, you could, if you wanted to make money, you had one of those, and you sold one of those that night, because people made a lot of money with the
That's pretty cool.
cybernetic. here.
This next one, I'm not so sure about this one.
These are like the smart cars of speeders, and when you get on it, it goes beep beep. I'm not kidding. Tenebris was laughing in chat last night when we were doing our raid streaming, saying that it sounds like a clown car.
Yeah, I had one. I had one just because it's annoying. It sounds like an old clunker when you're starting it up, and then you have that old like 50s horn, like it was
It's like a little Tonka truck.
The Morlinger Aggressor. This one's kind of badass. It's okay. It's pretty good.
That is a super sweet mount.
Not as
sweet as the Zerka mount, but that is pretty awesome.
That is the most expensive mount in game right now. That it's really, really rare, and it's really, really cool. A lot of people are paying. Well, okay, probably not the most expensive. The most expensive that is still available. There's some that are out there that are more expensive that aren't available anymore. But the ones that are still available, that is the most expensive one.
And finally, just for Laura's eye candy, the unfettered trench coat.
The Flasher trench coat.
I have a little story behind
sexist
that one.
with their armor designs, can you?
I actually did something really kind of horrible regarding that unfettered trench coat. Those started to go on the market on Thursday night. Very few of them actually, and they went for like 10,000 credits, which I thought was crazy, and then another one went for 20,000 credits, and I bought them both, thinking I can make money off of this. This is ridiculous, and so I did something
I need a backup because if I lose one, I need a backup of that thing.
That's right. I threw up one of them on the GTN for 1 million credits just to see if somebody would buy it, and it sat there for a long time. Nobody was buying it. No new ones came up. Nothing, and suddenly somebody bought it for 1 million credits. Now they're on the GTN for like 5,000 credits maybe.
Good going, Lair. All right.
I know how to play the market.
We need to take advantage of that.
Raping and pillaging credits. The star system near you. Always a pleasure, Laura Williams. Follow her on Twitter at @TheVoidTheMinx, and of course right here on Zitter Public every Monday at 6 PDT. Always a pleasure. Mr. Larry Everett, follow him on Twitter at Shadow. Go to BassMD. Read the Hyperspace Beacon. What are you covering this week?
Free-to-play experiment. I got 1 week, this week, and then next week will be the end of the free-to-play experiment. So, and I got tips this week on how to actually make free-to-play work. I talked to one of our guildies who he's beaten free-to-play in this game. Seriously, he's incredible at it. And so
you got tips at the cantina because you were wearing this jacket. Damn!
It's like you walk up to somebody and whip the trench coat open.
You can follow me on Twitter, Gary Gannon, follow Gamebreaker TV, Gamebreaker TV. Check out all the new sites we launched. If you guys are Hearthstone fans, don't forget we got the beta key giveaway. That's over at hearthnation.com. XIV, Final Fantasy fans, we've got xivnation.com, and a few others, and more to come. Check it out. We do the show live every Monday at 6. So have a great week. Thanks so much for watching again, and we will see you next week for more Star Wars The Old Republic. Have a great week.